Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And either way, no matter if you've been here or not been here, I want to let you know that I love you. So today we are talking about the law of assumption and what's currently holding you back. Now, if you like this video and you want more like them, you want more videos that are going to be a catalyst to make the changes that you want in your life, I highly recommend you click that little subscribe button down below. And if you hit that little bell, it's going to let you know when I release new videos. And if you want to support the channel, hit that like button. It really does a lot to spread this information. And one last update is that I am currently opening up a calendar so that I can work one-on-one with you. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to break through your current cycles, if you want to get some new energy on how to see a situation differently so you can become more empowered and take the action to make the changes for the life that you want, hit the little link below. So back to the video, the law of assumption and what's currently holding you back. Now, if you are watching this video right now, probably you understand a little bit, at least, of what the law of assumption is. It comes from Neville Goddard, the great teacher. He was around the 40s through 60s, roughly. So really talking about these ideas that at that time were pretty radical. Even right now, if you talk about this kind of stuff, metaphysics, people get a little glossy-eyed, they get a little uncomfortable, potentially because it's not necessarily mainstream. However, when you look at the science and you start understanding more of the mechanics of it, then you really start to understand its power. So the law of assumption basically is whatever you assume to be true, it's true for you. Now, what makes this really important is it doesn't mean that it's absolutely true. It means that it's true for you. And all that matters is what you right there, you watching this video, what are you giving permission? What are you basically leaning into? The etymology of that word permission is leaning into, yielding to this idea, this assumption that's true. You're giving consent, you're signing it away like, okay, here you go. You have my permission to rule over my life. You have the permission from me to start being an integral part of my entire life. Now, you may or may not, most likely you're not aware of what you're actually giving permission and consent to be true about you, what you're actually assuming to be true. Now, I have another video that talks about the law of assumption and core beliefs that I'll link below so you can understand it a little bit more, but ultimately, your life is being run right now by the assumptions you have about yourself. Where, Abby, where in the world would those assumptions come from? Why am I doing this? Why, if I want to make the changes, I want to have that person, that relationship in my life, I want to have this amount of money, I want to have that dream home, I want to have the dream job, why am I not assuming things about myself? If it's just about giving permission and consent to be true, why can I not do it right now? Why am I not doing it? Well, welcome to the whole point of why I made this video. What's holding you back? When we understand, okay, whatever I assume to be true is true and it's going to rule my life. Okay, well, I'm going to assume that I'm a millionaire. I'm going to assume that I've got this dream person. I'm in a relationship and they treat me exactly how I want to be treated. I live in this amazing house. I drive this amazing car. I'm assuming it. I'm assuming it. That is where the issues come from, because it's a little bit deeper than that. What you have to understand is what you're giving permission and consent to be true on an unconscious, on a subconscious level. So unless you become aware of whatever it is in your life right now that is holding you back, really, ultimately, your lack of awareness about something is really the only thing holding you back. No person, place, thing, circumstances is going to hold you back. It's the idea that you're being held back. It's the assumptions that are actually in your way. And when you shift unconsciously, subconsciously, when you get in there and basically rewire and say, oh, shoot, I didn't understand that I've had an experience that basically formed that assumption that I've been living off of that right now is actually standing in my way. And really, if I re-reason on it, I wipe the whole thing clean. Tabula rasa. Basically, that's Latin for a clean plate. You clear it out. Just as if I had a whiteboard behind me and I made all these scribbles and I made all these things. I'm unworthy. I'm unhappy. I am not good enough. I'm unlovable. I don't have what it takes to do the thing I want to do. Tabula rasa would basically getting that eraser and cleaning it off and then say, okay, what do I want? I am good enough. I am worthy. I am whole and complete. And starting to fortify these assumptions that are going to be in alignment with the thing that you want, the person you want to be in the world. Now, again, you have to understand the law of attraction, and I use my little rabbit ears here because the law of attraction is simply and better really phrased as the law of reflection. If you don't believe subconsciously and truly with your whole heart that you are worthy, that you are whole and complete, and you're waiting for something outside of you, which is oftentimes where people get caught up in the law of assumption or even the law of attraction, that, okay, when I assume that I have a loving partner, when I assume that I make $100,000, then I'm going to get it, and then I'll prove to myself that I can have it. Well, if you're trying to do that route, that is actually holding you back, right? Why? Because what you're doing is waiting for an external situation, an external person, place, thing, whatever it is. You're waiting for it to prove to you that you're worthy. You're waiting for it to prove to you that you're valuable, that you're whole and complete. So as long as you're living based on those dynamics, your assumptions underneath your conscious thoughts that you're thinking is that you're not. Because you're needing proof to show you to change your assumption, basically. So when you're in that model, you will constantly be not getting the thing that you want, not experiencing ultimately what you want. Because inside, underneath it all, at an unconscious, subconscious level, you don't feel whole, you don't feel complete, you don't feel like you're worthy. So those are the fundamental assumptions that you're making. And when you look out into your life right now, you're seeing that reflected back to you. And it's hard. It can be difficult. I've had a lot of different situations in my life where I really had to look at the assumptions I really had about myself. A lot of that stemmed from unworthiness, from not feeling good enough. And I constantly went out into the world. I used to be a professional athlete, and I used that as a sense of self-worth. If I won this meet, if I got on this team, then I'd feel good. Then I'd get the validation, I'd get the appreciation, I'd get the attention of other people, and then I'd feel better about myself. Spoiler alert, that never actually worked. Even though I made a world championship team, it still didn't make me feel good enough. I still didn't feel worthy or valuable. It wasn't until I started making changes and choosing myself and seeing the value and worth in myself first, regardless of anything I did or said or how I was or how someone treated me. When I was clear about that and I started making new assumptions that I am worthy, that I do deserve, that I am valuable, when I did that, then I saw the reflections in my life start to change. When I made a change in the assumptions I had, then what I gave permission and consent to be true shifted, and therefore everything changed. Even on an electromagnetic level, scientifically you can see this. The electrical part of that is our thoughts. The magnetic part is actually our heart. So we're sending out things into the world. So for instance, if you feel like I did before, not valuable, not worthy, not good enough, you're sending out those thoughts into the universe. So it's basically like looking for the file, looking for the set of circumstances, person, place, thing, whatever, and then you find it, you send it out. Your heart, what you're feeling, is going to pull it back into your existence, into your reality. So if it's not feeling worthy, if it's not feeling complete and all that kind of stuff, the things you don't want to feel because you want a different reflection so that you'll feel different. Well, as long as you're thinking and feeling on that same level of unworthiness, not feeling valuable, again, always talking about a radio station. And I'm going to put Dr. David Hawkins' chart from his book, Power versus Force, on here. And I like to put it on its side because this aligns to me visually like a radio. So if you're feeling those lower level emotions on that one side of the scale, you can see that it's lower levels of consciousness, it's unworthiness, and even your brain is going to be at a high frequency because it's in a stress state. So you're going to pull back experiences that are along those same lines, and that is going to keep you in that same state. That state of being has basically like linked up with an external situation. Have you ever seen maybe somebody in your life? No matter who new comes into their life, no matter what new job they get, no matter where they live, they always seem to get in a similar situation. Now, the people that they're interacting with might change, but the way that they're feeling, the way that they're acting, the dynamic that they're experiencing in life is the same. It's like mind-blowing. I can speak personally from that. I would get in different situations with different people, different romantic relationships. The people were changing, but the dynamic was the same, because underneath it all, the assumptions I had that only I could change, they were the same. And so it basically, as a natural law, nothing outside of me could change. Even if the universe was like, all right, Abby, you've had those tough lessons. This is it. You're going to learn. You're going to make a new choice. Oh, you're going to choose that again. Okay, well, here you go. Here's the circumstances. The universe isn't against you. The universe is waiting for you to see how beautiful and valuable you are, how much you deserve, and vote for you. Then you can see something change. But if you're not it on a being level, how you're thinking and how you're feeling, if you're not changing unconscious, subconsciously, the fundamental part of your being, you do not believe that to be true, you will never see it change in your external world. So ultimately, the thing holding you back is really starting to dive into what it is you believe about yourself, who it is that you think you are, how it is that you think that you deserve or can move in the world. Looking into that can actually look like, okay, well, yeah, I remember personally for me, when I was in high school, I remember an English teacher. It's like one of my first experiences. I wrote this, it was like an in-class, impromptu, write a creative story about some modern day thing, just make it up. And I did, and I was actually really excited, and I handed it in. And that teacher told me I wasn't creative. And that actually haunted me for a while, because I thought, oh man, she's in a position of power, of influence, of authority. And I am just this student, and what she says must be true. Only when I realized, oh wow, actually she was going through a lot of personal things, and taking away any judgment that she was right or wrong, that happened. And I reasoned on it, and I gave it a meaning. I made it mean that I wasn't good enough, that creatively I shouldn't express myself because I get my hand slapped, or that's uncomfortable, that doesn't feel good when I put myself out there. When I removed that and I realized she's a human being, as I grew into an adult, and I realized, oh, she was an adult going through a hard time. And I get to take my power back from that situation. And whoa, what if I am creative? What if we are all creative, and us speaking that creativity and expressing that creativity in this world will actually help the people around us be and do what they need to do. And basically, collectively, it's critical for me to do this. It's critical for me to express myself and to share the way I see the world, because potentially it can help other people. So only when I changed the assumption I had about that situation did I start to really embody the thing, that energy inside of me that wanted to come out. So that is just one small situation to show you that going in and reasoning on situations, especially painful ones that have happened, giving it a new meaning so that you can give yourself a new view and therefore change your assumptions, is really the thing that is holding you back. It's going to be small changes gradually so you can uncover all those things that have happened in your life, not to you, and ultimately it is for you, because then you really get to make a choice. I found that since I grew up not having a lot of value and not having a lot of worth, it really made me choose that as an adult, which made it stronger, and it really was fortified. So I see it as a blessing for myself, because it was very intentional for me to do what I'm doing and be in the world as I am. So the only thing that's holding you back is the idea that you're being held back, and the assumptions that you have that you can't do what you want to do. Could be whatever it needs to happen in the external world. Maybe you're thinking, oh, well, I need this amount of money, Abby, or I need this credit or this certification, and I can't do it. All of the things that are holding you back right now, you have assumptions about who you are and why you can't have them. Change those assumptions, and I guarantee your life will dramatically change. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit subscribe. If you haven't done so already, like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.